is number 165, the Organic Classroom Program by Lee Brown.
Okay, Organic Classroom Program is a, first of all, who knows what permaculture is? Anybody? Okay, you all got it. Okay, so it's based on permaculture methodology. It's working with, I can't do this thing. It's working with 21 schools in the Cape Flats, a school in Limpopo, a school, three schools in Johannesburg, and a school in KwaZulu at the moment. Let's go on there because I'm going to get very sidetracked. Just our context where we've come out of, we've been born out of the Cape Flats, which is apparently the most violent schooling system in the world. Statistics you know about hungry children, social panic, unemployment, blah, blah, blah. Let's go. Okay, so those are the schools. I've talked about those. What's really interesting is we've had a big demand to replicate this program further, and we've pulled in this year. We're consolidating our methodology and kind of breathing in. But what's really interesting is the way that permaculture and this program fit across a range of different conditions, climates, rain patterns, and totally different socio-economic conditions. Okay, thanks, moving along. Just to show you what the schools look like when we start, the sandy guys are obviously, those are Cape Flats schools. This is Batavili School in Johannesburg, which has got a ratio of teacher learner 130 to 1. And then just the proximity, some of the schools, we call it neighborhood watch, but it's just that the gardens are right yes. Okay, what works, what we found works? Sustained effort in schools. Food gardening takes a lot of passion and effort. We spend a lot of time in the first year, I'm going to go into the details of it, but putting in structures around the food garden that help with sustainability. I don't like using that word because it's a bit overused. Working at the pace of schools, robust perennial systems, joy in the process. These are children we're working with, children and teachers. And then the curriculum integration, at last, not at last, I don't think the Department of Education people here, but the Department of Education has put forward a plan, I've got it here, of what teachers are meant to teach. They've got structure, so at last we're able to actually know what the teachers are doing. And then demonstrations, oh, okay, you prompted it. Okay, no, that's cool, move it on. Okay, so you can go. So just to put it into perspective, what we're working on is the Organic Classroom Program. We've got a 5-day teacher training we run. We've just written and run an accredited training course which aims to get you career pathways and stuff. And then training centres are being set up in Rockford's and Mitchell's Plain. Okay, you can go again. Okay, you can go again. Okay, just what happens in the first year. So consultative design process, which is all education based. And then we start with 5-party systems. Outdoor classrooms, which is a space to teach from, and a space where you can collect learners before you do a garden activity. And then indigenous shelter belts, mulch and compost systems, trying to get as many of the garden's needs on site. Chicken and worms where possible. Herbs and canopies, which is about more perennial systems, obviously all the insectary benefits, compost herbs. And then canopy, which is deciduous canopy, which is something that helps with, I'm getting into too much detail, but it helps with water and soil building. Yeah, moving on. And then rain harvesting food gardens, and then obviously on-ground work is linked to the curriculum. We've got books we've written there here if you want to see them. Move along, please. Okay, just more pictures. On the top left is an indigenous shelter belt going in. You can see the breadth of it. Some of the ones we're dealing with are hectic. Bottom right, outdoor classroom with lessons going on it. And those badges that you see across, the books here, the badges you see across there, it's a garden club, it's a seedling club. It's like the Scout system. Learners work for badges because we deliver the program in themes linked to implementation. So it'll be, when we're doing soil and we're implementing soil systems, the learners will work towards a badge that says, I'm sus with soil. I can pass those around, there's some missing. Cool. Okay, just some of the systems. Fruit trees on the top left. Obviously the Cape Flats is not a natural tree culture, it's scrubland. So we have to create microclimates around productive trees. That's an olive tree going in, and around that is a whole lot of supportive plants around the drip line of the trees. The beautiful faces of the children. Bottom left is something called a swale, which is a passive water harvesting system. So the aim is to slow and sink water into the land. And then you plant your trees and your water, things that need water on the bottom over here. And they grow. The water goes in and sinks, and the trees and plants grow. I don't know, I just love these places. Okay, so the beauty of organic gardening, I don't know if you know it, but you've got mushrooms coming up from the straw, and it's just, it's amazing. That's an outdoor mushroom, the lesson going on. Okay, just that's what happens in about 9 months at a school. This is school in which is playing. The second year of the program is called Green Business. We start to work through an economic management science learning program linked to the abundance from the garden. Obviously the permaculture system is getting richer and easier to teach from. So it's a real project. And then what happens is, at the moment, we're busy building a community market at Rocklands in Mitchell's Plain. So entrepreneurs that are identified through the process, the schools sell their wares to the market. So it's a little bit of a boost. We're not saying we're going to get them onto the cover of Time, but 5 minutes. Okay, so just products: medicinal herbs, teas, jam, eggs, mushrooms. Okay, pictures of them throughout the process, because the EMS process involves researching and then production. Let's move. Okay, Green Achieve is the 3rd year, and this is where we pull withdraw support. So it's reduced to 6 days of training and troubleshooting with the schools. By this stage, we've got strong teacher buy-in, strong learner movement, and there's community members that are working with the garden and harvest. The pressure. Demonstration site. We're busy building a demonstration site at Rocklands and Mitchell's Plain. We've just got funding to build a classroom where that kind of bucky is. So there's actually going to be a classroom that you can teach from. And the power of demonstration is what is becoming evident. You don't need to talk so much, you can just point. Next. Okay, let's rush through. Just a big credit to training.
No, I think you should talk about that.
Isn't it the joys of accredited training? Okay, we ran a pilot in March last year. We're busy in a rewrite. There's one in August if anyone would like to come. It's 3 weeks. It's aimed at post-matric. The idea is to build a full certificate so that it's for green professionals. It would obviously have to be quite a conclusive. You would have to have a lot of things in there. I mean, this is a 20-day course. We've split it up into 2 courses now. It's a 15-day course in permaculture, 2 unit standards, and a 5-day course in facilitation, teaching facilitation. It would need to have business venture impulses. It would need to have more organic practice. The exit strategy for schools is important because we get a lot of learners saying to us, sort of seeing us working in the gardens and saying, oh, there's actually a job in this. And I know lots of countries, I know Spain has combated its unemployment and all the global crises by building these green professionals, which it seems to kill all the birds with a stone. Okay, next. Yes. I think it's a wonderful analogy. Okay, looking forward. So the organic classroom program, we're looking at further node development. We need to consolidate before we spread. We're really aware of this. So this year we're breathing in and ignoring all the requests. Well, not ignoring them, that was a bad, but fighting them. But building up community enterprises within the garden. So there's money, because there's abundance in these gardens that can be harvested by community members. And then the business incubator at Rocklands, we've got a mushroom project in the pipeline, community market, green business schools linked to Rocklands. I feel like I'm talking really fast. Yeah, sorry.
That's why I told you to stop.
Okay. Accredited permaculture training, they're growing the full certificates, and they're also busy refining the existing qualifications. And the demonstration centre, there we go, it's a classroom built at Rocklands. Developing a permaculture institute where people come from overseas and pay $2,000 to study permaculture for 2 weeks.
My gosh.
It's crazy. Yeah. Okay, next.
That's it?
Yeah.
We're also running Saturday workshops. If anyone here would like to come and learn about how to permaculture your garden, they will be running from the 27th of May at Rocklands.
What's the cost of it?
Wait, for you, special price.
Special price.
No, you're 4,000, just 4,000.
That's
It's 450 Rand for the full day, but don't come thinking it's going to be a relaxed Saturday because it's 8:30 to 4 with lunch, 4:50.
Thank you, Lee. Question from Graham Bloch.
Bloch.
Graham Bloch is from the Development Bank and he's an educationist, so he's got the definitive question for you.
Where's he?
In front of you, ahead of you.
Thanks, Lee. My question is, this sounds maybe better than school, actually. It's like, more productive. But I suppose my question is what is the wider impact, or is there any systemic impact on what goes on in the school? And then I suppose partly related to that, why one school out in Joburg? It seems a bit odd.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you asked that. The first question about the school, there's a lot of impacts that are quite difficult to measure. Like a lot of teachers aren't involved actively with the garden, but they use the outdoor classroom. So they won't be gardeners, but they'll use the garden for experiments or whatever. But also there's a lot of testifying to the fact that difficult learners find a place in these schools. In these gardens, and also something about the metaphor of positive change and the kind of the metaphor for learners. You know, it's that thing of you see the seed growing or the piece of arid land becoming productive, and it's this realization that they can change their lives. I find it and then the other question is the national program is developed around facilitators. So it's 3 schools in Johannesburg. So, because you've got to be, I mean, we've got a whole team in Cape Town that support each other. I think you met Theo last time. In Joburg, she operates remotely, Tina. So you've got to have, it's around special people. The Limpopo person, there's 2 community facilitators, and Tina's going in, I think it's 8 times over the year to support. What we're realizing is there's a lot of mentoring and support as you go along, so that, because you know what it's like, you can get stuck on a small detail that actually holds the whole project up and think, this doesn't work. So that support's really important.
Any other, Michelle?
First, it's fantastic. I've been to a couple of your schools before you have seen them before you put the gardens in. I think it just, greening the school is just an amazing thing to do for these schools, or windswept, and it's just amazing what you've done. I'm interested in 2 pieces. One is at the end of, which of your schools have gone to the 3-year phase, and what's happened beyond that? I mean, you talk about you enable one full-time employment for one person. Does that end at the end of 3 years? Who takes it over?
We've got schools in the phase at the moment.
I thought so.
The Green Achiever, we're working with them, and it's really interesting because we're finding out what works. What's coming from it is actually the people that want to hold and grow the garden are community members. In all the schools, there are at least 2 or 3 community members who've come in. I mean, the teachers are there as well, but teachers, as you know, have a lot of demands on them.
There's a parent involvement then?
The parents, the community, the parents. So and what they're doing is keeping the garden going, growing it, and then harvesting. What we are trying to do, what we are doing now, is running workshops for those people. And we're going to build this into the program earlier, where we're calling it the Seed Academy, for once of a better, if anyone's got a better name. And it's workshops that support the themes, because I've got a book here which explains how the themes work. But when we're doing soil, I keep using windbreaks, there will be a workshop for community members about windbreaks, understanding them, planting.
Because that's the second piece of the question is then what work are you doing with the Department of Education, provincially and nationally? I mean, this is something. I mean, they have these curriculums, and they make the curriculums alive.
Did you see the quotes on the front page?
Yes. But I mean, what traction are you getting, and where are you with that?
Because we've tried pretty hard to work with the government. We've got the rubber stamp, and they said, good, we like your work. We haven't had a really real working partnership. We've got members of the Education Department on our board. They seem to be run off their feet. That seems to be the. I mean, and what else are there? I've just been dealing with someone from a magazine called, I can't remember, I'm going to get sidetracked, but it's called Delivery, that's right, Delivery. And he was just talking about how there's always this impulse, but the teeth and the action on the ground, it's quite difficult to get that. So we've sat for years in discussions and in forums talking, and then we were like, we haven't really got time. So if you know of a way for us to work really in partnership, we are so open to it.
Jerry, did you have a question?
Yes.
Hello, Jerry.
It's quite an interesting project. It reminds me of the 4-H youth program in North America.
Oh, good.
What I picked from your presentation goes beyond greening the environment. It's also about youth leadership, development, nation building, citizenship. How well do you intend to push that aspect of the program?
We're pushing that through the training, through the accredited training, and through the building of youth through that as a career option. That's the idea. We've been also talking to someone from a JUCO, I don't know if they're wonderful, about trying to find somewhere where, because they do amazing, it's youth building, it's all that, it's team champion finding, and trying to put the 2 together. They're interested in permaculture, someone's coming on our course, and we're going to try and put the 2 together in some way.
Cheryl?
Hello. Hi.
Cheryl.
You talk about career pathing and about enterprise government. How much is this about just sustainability, putting food on someone's table, and how much of it is to grow enterprises, viable enterprises?
It started first with gardens for education primarily, and then food security. And then what seems to happen is that there seems to become enough abundance that you can start looking at like the idea of, whoa, I've got too many herbs, or not too many, I've got all these herbs, what could I do with them? So the enterprise development has evolved organically and naturally from this process. And then the link to the education, I haven't got the book here, it's on our website. Obviously help the link to the curriculum really solidifies it, but I think it's becoming really important to keep community members in, is for them to make money with this.
How do you keep your focus? Because if your focus is to be based around the schools and the impact it has, firstly, it's a transitory nature of the schools
they are,
because they pass through. kids pass
Well, the
through.
teachers leave as well. I
Yes. And as opposed to a community thing which could become a more permanent, and you seem to imply that in your earlier responses, how do you keep your focus schools-based as opposed to moving more in towards the enterprise side of it?
The enterprise thing, the enterprise development thing is still within the school for an educational activity. What we're trying to build now is the opportunity for community members to make money off that. So it's that next flash again. So the primary focus of SEED has always been schools, school education. That's our name, schools environmental education development. This other enterprise has come organically. The career pathing has grown organically as well from learners saying, how do we do this? How do we get involved? When we did a needs analysis to run accredited training for teachers, that's what we decided to do. The feedback was overwhelmingly, that's not what's needed. Actually, teachers don't want to tick another form or anything. It's more the youth. The youth want this.
Francis?
Yeah, I've got two questions, but I only ask one, which is
You
this.
may ask.
That was a kind one.
Now, I ask the really tough thing that seems to lie ahead in terms of the papers here is you're on the verge of rolling out a national program. Now, here's a marvelous project that's working small scale, well, relatively. How do you think you're going to be able to roll this out nationally and keep the quality, let's put it that way? Because this is the big issue. This is the big issue.
Operations manager. Sorry, no, that's the word. We just need, there's a proposal with someone for an operations manager. We're not moving, because it's 20 schools here, we're not moving any further. But also, just to explain, the program is quite structured but flexible. So the curriculum is laid out, here it is, I want to show you if you want. The curriculum is, where is it? The curriculum is laid out for the year with what everybody does. It's linked to the education, it's green beginnings, green achiever. Another key thing is monitoring and evaluation and support. So all the schools are visited by a really experienced, we've been using Alex Kruger's been working with us on that 3 times a year, and that's design support. We've got a thing called a sustainability index which we use to assess schools. So just to really keep them on track, that seems to be the key. And then obviously a national workshop.
There's just, and maybe you're going to help solve the problem, it's just that throughout, we've got dozens of good projects. In particular, we've just been looking at one particular municipality, which is brilliant. Can it roll it out? Do we find ways of rolling it out? Not yet, to other municipalities. So what we're really interested in is this process of going national.
Yeah. What we've been doing, we've run a lot of, there's a 5-day training, Teachers for Permaculture Education, that's the starting point. We've run 14 of them around the country. For example, Kwakwa. There were 60 teachers on the Kwakwa training, all still asking for support. So it's this kind of thing. That the 5-day training imparts the basic skill, it also identifies champions. That would be the way we would do it. We run those in areas and then just see the response from schools, and then schools apply from there.
Impumelelo?
Did I answer that?
Impumelelo Khoza?
Yeah, no.
Actually, this question has been asked before. I'm not sure I'm satisfied with the answer though.
Okay.
Why is it 2 schools in Gauteng and why is there 2 schools in KZN? How were they chosen?
Okay, it's around, we're rolling the program out around facilitators. So for example, in Johannesburg, there is an incredible permaculture facilitator. She worked with 2 schools last year. She's got a third school on this year. It's funding reliant as well, obviously. Marianne Roberts, thank you, Marianne Roberts. So we've got 2 schools in Joburg in the Green Beginnings phase and 2 in the Green Business, 1 in the Green Beginnings phase. Okay, so
Kylie? Yeah.
but I hope that answers it. It's around funded, it's around, and it's also funding reliant.
Kylie, were you going to? Okay, good. Thank you very much, Lee Brown, for a
Thank you for
great
having me.
project.
Does anybody want to read this?
Can we keep the booklet or do you want them back? Yeah. She needs the booklet.
As well.
Yes.
Thank
So
you. And post it.
it's to knock presenters over the head who don't stick to time.
Planting calendars for the schools. Cool.
Thank you, Lee.
I heard
Keep
that.
well.
Goodbye. Thank you.